morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on After GMS. It is Monday, the 29th of November, the last Monday of this month.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy to think about.
It is crazy to think about.
And it means hurricane season is coming to an end soon.
And then tomorrow. Of course, we kind of forgotten about that because literally nothing has been happening for the past couple months, which is good news.
Exactly. But on the other hand of things, we have wildfires that we are now dealing with. And of course, we'll talk about that. Actually, let's go ahead and get to the forecast right now because it's windy.
It is. It's crazy windy outside, and that's not lending itself to being kind to fighting these fires. Of course, winds this morning have gusted around 20 miles per hour in the Triad, a little higher than that to the north and west. Of course, that's bad news because that's where the fires are up in Surrey County near Pilot Mountain. Now, one thing to note, one thing that we have different today that we didn't have yesterday, our winds were coming out of the south and southwest yesterday. This morning now, behind a cold front, those winds are coming out of the north and out of the west. So places like King, places like Winston-Salem could start to see some of that smoke and smell some of that smoke from the wildfires today. And notice winds could gust around 20 to 25 miles per hour as we go throughout the day. They relax a bit tonight, and then those winds kick up again tomorrow, but from a different direction, from the south and from the west. And so that will kind of push that smoke back off away from Pilot Mountain instead of pushing it down into the Triad areas like we're seeing today. Reason for that being cold front moved by overnight, now well to our east, high pressure in control of our weather. We're on the eastern side of that high, meaning our winds are coming out of the north. That brings in that cooler air, gives us a quick chill for today, but that high quickly moves down to our south and starts to move to the east offshore. That'll change our wind direction again by tomorrow. So winds will come out of the south and out of the southwest and start to bring in some of that warm air. Meanwhile, as we go into the middle of the week, a bit of a cold front will pass by just to our north, but it never makes it far enough south to the Piedmont, so we stay on the warm side of things for a while. We're talking about a pretty decent warm up over the course of the week. Today we'll say mostly sunny, chilly and breezy. This is kind of the exception to the rule of the next 7 days. 49 that high this afternoon, even with full sunshine and with that breeze, feeling like it's in the 30s at times. Tonight, winds will relax. We'll drop it back down into the upper 20s to near 30 degrees in the Piedmont. Some of those typically cooler spots in lower lying areas could drop down into the mid 20s. I expect to see more of that in the way of the foothills and mountains. But heading into your Tuesday, we round out the month of November on a mild note, upper 50s, and December comes in hot or warm, at least 60 for Wednesday. For the brand new month, we'll see some extra clouds on Wednesday too as a little disturbance passes by to our north. By the time we get into Thursday and Friday, we're headed for a big deal warm up. Mid 60s on Thursday, approaching 70 on Friday. That's the top of the roller coaster though. Then we start to come back down over the weekend. Mid 60s on Saturday. We're dry with sunshine. We add in some extra clouds and a low rain chance for Sunday, and we're back in the 50s, but virtually no rain, next to nothing for the month of November, and no real rain chance in the 7-day forecast. We could all use some rain just generally across the board, and folks fighting fires up on Pilot Mountain could really use some rain too, but it's just not in the cards for us over the next 7 days.
Just had a comment from Carl Royster who said he's passing Pilot Mountain now, and then he said sad. So, you know, if you're driving by this iconic place and you're seeing, you know, fire and smoke, obviously it's going to hit pretty hard.
It is. It's something, you know, we're not accustomed to seeing a lot of. You know, folks have asked the question to me over the last couple of days, is this something that's common here? And no, it's not. You know, we had the Surreytown mountain fires a couple weeks ago, and now we have the Pilot Mountain fires. It's just really in part because we've had virtually no rain. It's been windy. It's been super dry. The air itself is super dry. So all it takes is one little spark to get things going.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and it's really that combination that's making this fire at Pilot Mountain so hard to fight right now and to contain.
Yeah, we have WFMY News 2's Denise McMiller live in Surrey County this morning. She's been there all morning. We've seen the fire behind her, the smoke now that the sun has come up, and I think we're going to go to her now for an update on that fire that is still spreading.
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, we've been out here for some time, and as we were driving in on US 52 North at about 4 this morning, it was actually really scary to see the sight of what it looked like out here. It was a ring of flames lining the top of this mountain, but as you can see now that the sun is up, there is just smoke that we're seeing. It seems as though the fire has started to move down the mountain, and the knob here is what we're zooming into right now. That is actually burned and destroyed. This is a place where people will typically come and go hiking and take photos, so it is a very sad moment here because folks will no longer be able to have that experience. And there's been more than 200 acres that have been burned, and when I spoke to officials, they say that that number is going to continue to increase. It has actually greatly increased. We will have an update at 10 a.m. on just how much damage this fire has caused. Now, we do know that crews are definitely working to get this fire under control. It's all hands on deck. The Knob Fire Department has about 6 other departments coming in to help, as well as the North Carolina Forestry Service and the Pilot Mountain State Park crews are also helping. And the governor even said that they are also in communication with the local agencies and willing to help out in any ways that they can. Of course, as you mentioned, it's the wind, the rough terrains that's definitely making their job more difficult. Now, they are meeting in just a few minutes and having a briefing, and they're going to head back out to work to suppress the fire. They said they're going to try and do so at the bottom of the mountain. That's their best way to try and get this thing under control. The good news is no buildings have been damaged. No one has been hurt. Now, they are going to be able to investigate what caused this fire once they start to get this blaze under control. We'll continue to bring you updates on air and online. Live here in Pilot Mountain, Denise McMillan, WFMY News 2.
Well, of course, you guys are talking about this online right now. We're seeing a lot of the pictures that people are sharing with us on social media. A person who lives in Surry County shared this picture, writing, "I've seen wildfires up close, but never 2.5 miles from my home." We have another picture from David, who shared the view from his backyard. He said, "Very sad. We love our mountain." And we have another picture from Sarah, who captured all the smoke coming from the fire as she drove by Pilot Mountain on the way home to Durham. She wrote, "It is such a weird, helpless thing." You can search and share any of the pictures of the fire that you have with us. Text us 336-379-5775. We'd love to see the fire from your point of view.
Yeah, and just for everybody tuning in, because it's been a huge question, do we know what started this fire yet? And with these types of things, just like we saw in Saratown, they needed to control the fire first, put it out first, make sure everybody fighting that fire is safe, and then their investigation into what caused the fire will start. So we don't exactly know right now, but Christian, you had talked about, while we don't know, there are some indicators that help us maybe think about what might have happened, what did, what didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. That really does seem to be the common question. I've been getting it all weekend long, and even this morning, what started this fire? And I think people just want to know. I think people they want to be mad at somebody or something, and we just don't know that right now. I can tell you for sure there have been no storms, there's been no lightning that would have caused the fire to start. So likely there was some kind of human intervention to get this thing going. We just don't know what, where, or when that was. But nothing in weather started it. I'll say nothing in weather is going to help put it out, though. Just kind of the situation that we're in.
Yeah, because we're dry and we are windy for the next few days. I mean, it's going to be 70 degrees perhaps by the end of the week. So we need that big storm to come through and, help firefighters contain this fire. And that doesn't look likely, but what is going to be helpful is if you guys can maybe start some donation drives at your work or your schools or community, your churches, to get water and supplies, Gatorade, snacks to the firefighters who are battling this blaze or trying to contain it right now. It's going to be a rough 2-week, maybe 3-week process ahead for them. So any help that we can do on this side will certainly help firefighters on the other side, of the mountain. I mean, this is now, it was on one side of the mountain, and now you're saying it's on the other side. Yeah,
earlier this morning when we were talking to Dwayne, our weather spotter, he said over the weekend they went out for a bike ride and they saw it on the north side of the mountain. And he said now over the progression of the past 2 days, you can see Pilot Mountain, you can see the knob of the mountain right out of his backyard. And he said it's just been eerie to watch it like crawl around now to the south side of that mountain. And he said it really has looked like a ring of fire, and we've seen that in some of our pictures because it's not just one spot on the mountain that's burning, it's the entire mountain. And we did get that update from the Forest Service overnight that the knob was burned overnight. Of course, that iconic piece of the mountain that we always see.
It's so sad.
And I've also gotten this question too. So I was researching this a couple minutes ago. If we have all of the ingredients there to make a fire, how come there's no what we call a red flag warning? We see that a lot in the summer when fire conditions are bad. And there's just some certain criteria that the National Weather Service has to have to issue those red flag warnings. One of those specifically would be sustain 20-mile-per-hour winds with 30-mile-per-hour gusts. Our winds are strong, but they're not that strong. And so there's just a couple little criteria that aren't technically met to issue those red flag warnings. But I would just say this: don't burn. Don't burn anything. It's way, way too dry and it's way too windy. If you're thinking about burning something, stop.
Right.
Wait.
And that's not just in Surrey County. That's
no,
triad-wide.
That's everywhere. And I think we'll also probably talk to Itanisa a little bit later. And I'm interested to know how come there's no burn ban in place for some of these counties close by to Surrey County. So that's something we may ask later.
Definitely. Everybody's weighing in on this. Scott Lynch, sounds like first responders now in other counties are also following this. He said, "This is truly sad." Even former Chief Grant Gilmore in Tampa is commenting on this fire. So it's really catching the attention of people from all over.
Well, certainly hoping for a very quick ending to this wildfire. However, we have heard the North Carolina forest officials say that this could take weeks for it to squall out. And while we wait, we're certainly thinking of people who have homes in the area, unlike Sorrowtown Mountain, where it's kind of, the wilderness and not a lot of homes near. There are a lot of homes near Pilot Mountain, so we're certainly hoping that they can contain it. And right now there have not been any evacuations of any homes or houses or neighborhoods in that area, so that's good.
It's kind of the goal to keep it that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll keep an eye on this story for you. We'll keep you updated first on WFNYnews2.com, and then Marissa and Itanise will have an update today at noon. All right, let's go ahead and get to some of our morning headlines. Winston-Salem Police Chief Katrina Thompson says an officer shot and killed a man who was threatening people with a machete. Investigators say 33-year-old Adam McKnight threatened his family and officers with a machete at a home on Bell West Drive yesterday. Officers say they made multiple attempts to try to get McKnight to drop the machete and even tried to subdue him. Chief Thompson says Sergeant R.T. Phillips shot the man in the chest when he charged at the officer with a large knife. McKnight later died at a hospital. Sergeant Phillips, who is a 16-year veteran of the Winston-Salem Police Department, is on administrative leave, and the SBI is handling the case, which is protocol in officer-involved shootings. The final deadline to report changes for the last child tax credit payment of this year is tonight. That payment is set to come out on December 15th. People who are already signed up to receive the payments can use the IRS Child Tax Credit Update portal to opt out of this monthly payment, report a change of income, switch from paper check to direct deposit, or update their bank information or their address. You have until 11:59 tonight to make those changes.
Today, President Joe Biden is expected to address the American public on the new COVID-19 variant. The administration plans to ban travel from South Africa and 7 other countries in the region due to the Omicron variant. The CDC says it's monitoring Omicron and expects to identify it quickly if and when it arrives in the United States. The Winston-Salem Forsyth County School Board will discuss its mask policy tomorrow. Right now, the district requires masks in every building. The state requires school boards to meet each month to discuss this policy. The board is holding a special meeting. They're allowing the first 30 people who sign up to make public comments. You can sign up on the district's website.
Well, today is Cyber Monday. I know you might have forgotten because of all the headlines about Pilot Mountain, but a lot of people are using the day to shop online, and it is expected to break records.
Yeah, we want to know, what are you shopping online for today? Adobe Analytics predicts Americans will spend around $11.3 billion today, but ongoing supply chain issues have many retailers struggling to keep items in stock.
Analysts say a shortage of certain items could leave shoppers vulnerable to online scams as they search for products already in high demand. So before you type in your credit card information, you should always check to make sure you are on a legitimate website, and check a seller's reputation by looking at the reviews.
We asked you, what are you shopping online for today? One viewer says, actually today I'm not shopping at all and my husband is very happy. LOL, love to wake up to your news. It's informative and to the point and enjoyable. Well, thank you. We love to bring you the news. Tiffany C. from Lexington says, wishing I hadn't spent so much money on Black Friday. Now I can't shop today.
Whoops.
I can relate to that on a different level of I've already gotten all my Christmas shopping done.
Right.
So I don't really
Overachiever.
need to, so I don't really, I'll continue to rub that in both of your faces as
done.
I'm here. I'm just kidding.
I know.
So I don't need to shop today. There's nothing I need. I
Right.
wish I needed something because there's some great deals out there.
Yeah.
Like a new TV, I don't need it.
Right.
So.
And even if you did, you might not get it by Christmas.
Right.
Because, all of these shortages and
Yeah.
all the run on the supplies, I mean, it's caused quite a backup in terms of delivery. So you might get a great deal today, but you might not get your product until January or later. So I wasn't planning on doing any shopping today. But then
I see, wasn't planning.
Right. I got all my shopping done on Saturday. That was the last thing I needed. But I dropped my makeup bag on this floor today and splat.
Ooh.
Yes, my liquid,
Oh.
my powders, and one of my very favorite shadows, all gone.
That's the worst feeling.
It is. And I have to work tomorrow.
Yep.
So
Oh, you don't need it.
yeah, so I'm going to buy some makeup online and pick it up
That's
before I head home. And I just looked, and my favorite shadow is half off today. So
Ooh.
that's a deal.
You know what? It was a sign that you needed to get some fresh makeup.
It is a sign that I have just wasted money because I was in a rush instead of just getting to work on time like I know I should. I was late, and it cost me like 20, well, with everything, probably about $50.
I can say this as a child, I
happy.
never, as a younger Christian, I
As a
never
younger
thought, I never thought I would be excited about makeup being on sale. Then I got into TV. And yes, men do wear makeup.
They do.
So, and I actually
funny.
need some right now, so I may try to do
Oh.
the same thing.
Well,
I was
listen,
in there this
if you
morning
give me
getting
your
ready. I was like,
order-
come on.
If you give me your order, I can just put it all together.
All right.
And then do one, because driving to Friendly Shopping Center at this point,
Oh.
That's a chore in
just
itself.
to pick up, right, it's just to pick up an item.
Let me say, I went there because nobody else in the world needs to go to the grocery store the day after Thanksgiving except me.
What in the world did you need?
Well, so I made this deal with myself. I said Zach is going to take all of the leftovers
Okay.
because I needed to be healthy.
Right.
And I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to buy leaves that come out of the ground, vegetables, all of the healthy things.
We got plenty of fall leaves out here in the weather.
Right.
I'm gonna go
Need
eat some of those. And I pulled into, because I was like, the grocery store is gonna be fun. I went to Harris Teeter and Friendly. It was Black Friday.
Yes,
Bad idea.
right.
The parking lot in front of Harris Teeter, empty. The rest of it, to get a madness.
Right,
So.
absolutely. So yeah, are you guys shopping today? Joanna said, I already went Christmas shopping. Same. Let's see. Nadine also agreed. She said she went to Friendly yesterday and it was ridiculous. And I'm sure every, shopping center, not just to pick on them, but every
Yeah.
shopping center in all of America
Right.
is probably busy as people, start to get back into stores instead of just doing all of their shopping online. I was trying to avoid Friendly this whole season, but because of my lateness and laziness and
I do have a question for you, Tracy.
yes,
Are we gonna get an update on the balance beam today?
it's ordered.
Ooh.
Amazing.
Yes,
Ooh.
yes.
If
So-
you guys tuned in Friday, we talked about this on Friday.
Yeah, so just to go back, my daughter, who is a budding gymnast, she thinks she is related somehow to Simone Biles because her first name is Simone. So she wants a balance beam for Christmas and has not made it a shy attempt to get what she wants. So she's constantly talking about it. So we were able to get a deal, and I used a special coupon, and it will be here before Christmas, December 17th.
We
The
love
McCain Jungle Gym.
That's cutting it close. So,
Yeah.
and as we speak, we're trying to make space for it.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. That's a great update.
And it's, by the way, it has stages, so it's not just high.
Yeah.
It can grow with the child.
This thing is fancy.
Yeah, just
So it's not
top
like she's going to
notch.
be flipping and falling. Yeah.
I don't
Just
know.
want you to know, safety is a priority.
2030 Olympics. Here she comes.
Here we
Oh
go.
my gosh,
I don't know if there's one in 2030, but
I don't know either.
I don't know when the next one
And we
is.
can say we remember when it started when that balance beam was
We were here
bought
for it.
on Black Friday.
Yeah, gymnastics is a very expensive sport. I'm kind of hoping that she chooses something else. But until
Golf's
then,
expensive too.
Golf.
everything's expensive,
Everything
isn't it?
is
Yeah. Chess?
Joanne says that she had most of her shopping done in July, and she never shops online because she likes to see what she's getting in person.
Interesting.
This is interesting.
It
Yes.
is hard. I will say it's hard for me to buy clothes online.
Oh, really?
Well, I'm such an oddly shaped person. I'm just a tall, skinny.
What?
I'm just a tall twig, basically, and so I have to make sure everything fits. Because in some things I wear a small, some things I wear a medium.
Right.
Some shoes I wear a 12, and some I wear a 10.5. It just depends.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm weird.
Are you looking at all like U.S. sizes, or are you looking at UK? Or
As far as I know.
Right.
I wasn't looking at the youth sizes.
Well, between your leaves and your twig, I don't know what. It's all
Welcome to the
woven
tree.
here.
Theme here.
Exactly. And I honestly don't think that you have an oddly shaped body.
Oh,
No.
Thank you.
I
You're
think you are
perfectly
perfect the way
proportioned.
God made you.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, thanks so much for, oh my gosh, it's so funny. My friend Dana said, that's right, get my baby her balance. Yes, Aunt Dana, I understand. She will be very happy. By the way, we took the kids to see Santa over the weekend, and they asked Santa for something else,
Oh.
not what they asked Mom and Dad for.
Well,
Good.
good.
So we'll have to see how that works out.
You'll have to make a call to Santa.
Do they think Mom is the coolest ever in the world now because you were there?
Definitely.
Fantastic.
Yes, absolutely. I went to my hometown and I rode in on the train at Jay Razantaz's farm with Santa, Mrs. Claus, and 2 of their elves. And my kids were like, oh, Mom. And I'm like, yeah, they've been, everything I've said, clean up your bed, make up your bed. They're like, yes, Mom. Right away, Mom. And I'm like, wow.
What?
And I only have like 25 days of this.
Yeah.
Well, maybe keep reminding them for next year.
I should.
Mom's gotten in
Just
with Santa.
put up the pictures.
Remember this,
kids? Like, that clock starts January 1. You have to be good all year. No, I have great kids. I'm very thankful and appreciative for them. So I love it. All right. Oh, by the way, George, Spicer said shoes 10 to 13 depending on the shoe. So
See?
that's
Not
interesting. All right. So what about the forecast? Cold today.
Well, cold today, but if you like it warmer, then the rest of the week is for you.
Oh, yay.
We've had virtually no rain in the month of November and basically none over the next 7 days. We all need rain, and we really need some to help fight those fires up in Pilot Mountain. It is just not in the cards for us. It's not in the cards. A couple disturbances moved by this week, but none of them bring rainfall with them. This afternoon, upper 40s and breezy. That'll make for a chilly day of weather, feeling like the 30s at times. We will drop down into the 20s overnight to kick off your Tuesday, the last day of November, the last day of hurricane season as well. We'll put that to rest. But we do warm up nicely by the afternoon. Upper 50s to near 60 on Tuesday. We're at 60 on Wednesday with some extra clouds as a little disturbance passes by to our north. But again, no rain with that, and it never really makes it far enough to the south to get us in on some cooler weather. So we stay on the warming trend throughout the rest of the week. Mid 60s on Thursday, close to 70 on Friday. That's the tip top of the roller coaster. And then we start to come back down over the weekend. Mid 60s on Saturday. We'll add in a small rain chance for Sunday for a couple showers. I think the day is mainly dry though. Temperatures in the mid 50s. And if we look a little further out past the 7-day forecast, I see some indications that we may have some chances at rain, chances at bad, if you will, heading into the following week. But this upcoming week, it's going to stay dry, it's going to stay breezy, but we do get warmer.
All right, so no snow in the forecast. So my
Furthest thing from that.
You sound so disappointed.
my
All right, no
hopes
more
and dreams
snow,
just
yeah.
went out the window. I love snow. I can't help it. I'm a Northeast girl.
This is a bad forecast for snow lovers.
Yes.
Me included.
This is a great forecast for people who love 70-degree temperatures
Yes.
all year round.
I hope Megan's watching this. This is a forecast for Megan Malayo.
Yes, I'll text it to her.
Yes, please.
She'll be excited. Thanks so much for joining us on After GMS. It has been so great having you with us, Marissa.
Oh my gosh, I want to come back.
Come back
She
anytime. You will be back.
I'll be back. I'll be
She
back
will.
soon. Thank you guys for tuning in and for having me with you. It was so
Yes.
great to be with you.
It's been a joy. So tomorrow, Megan will be back, but we'll all be back here for another great edition of After GMS and the Good Morning Show starting at 4:30 a.m. We'll see you tomorrow.